everybody. Today we're heading down to the other farm via a different route. One of the awesome things about living in this region is we've got lots of little connecting back roads that kind of will take me virtually the same amount of time to get down there, but just different things to look at. So I plan on making a couple little photographic stops on my way, and then I've got a few hacks to share with you when we get down there. I better run to catch this light. We'll see you down there. Okay, so this is one of my favourite stops. If I ever need to just blow off a bit of steam and get out of the house, away from the studio or whatever, I come down here because there's lots of fodder and it's always inspiring. Just a slightly different angle and you get a completely different picture just sometimes. One more up here, I think. This one I'll have to clean up if I'm gonna paint that. I really love this. There's heaps of little shapes and textures with the different buildings and then the trees and obviously the grass today with that frost on it. Check this ice out. Yep, it's cold. Anyway, I stopped to get a couple of shots of these ones. And if you're wondering what these ones are, I'm talking about gum trees, of course. Even just down the road there. I don't often paint roads because it's like putting a straight line through a painting that should be organic, but this road kind of goes up and down and swerves a bit, so it's not real bad. I'd really like to lift the skirts on that tree to get some of that stuff that's in the distance. I'm not going to fiddle around. Sometimes I'll try and really find that best angle. Other times I take lots of shots from the same location to get the feel, and then I'll when I go to paint I'll just take some of those branches up so I can get some of the trees that are in behind. But then there's this beauty who's got her skirts nicely lifted. I'm not going far today. Not on this bike. I need to get some knobbies. Woo! That's good because I wasn't intending on going far anyway, but oh boy. It's like slippery and frozen. And there's some little potty calves. Yep. Gee whiz. So let's park it here and find the best spot, take a few photos. This is what I wanted to take to paint today. I really love that little hut. Man, imagine living in that. I'm assuming someone did once. Look at these guys checking out what I'm doing. You see the white one there? Hang on, we'll see him in a minute. That white guy there is a bull, and he's Chris got him for me. Isn't he a cutie? He's tiny though. These are all heifers. Look at him. You're a stud, mate. Righto, come on, back to work. So a couple of the hacks that I've learned in the last couple of weeks of doing these few little episodes is always bring a hot thermos of tea. That's like my elixir, keeps me going. And then to be a little bit more serious, don't forget to bring your terps, because not just the washing terps like your brush washer, which I can actually live without, but it's more the gum terps to put a wash on the canvas. So always remember to bring that. And the other thing that I learned was to put the paint in a one of those parcel post plastic sort of things with bubble wrap and a hot water bottle, and that kept the paint nice and warm overnight, so it won't be so sticky during the day. The first time I tried it on that really frosty morning down here at the farm, the paint was like clag or glue or something disgusting, and I was not having fun with it at all. So that was two fairly big pointers that I've learned just in the short little while. I'm sure there'll be more to come. If you actually want more information on just setting up and materials, equipment, how to paint, go to my website. I've got a lot of classes that I've recorded over the last 3 years. They're all there. Most of them are there. The good ones are there. You're probably wondering what I'm all about with this blooming gum terps and washes and whatever else. This is precisely. So I'll show you exactly. I love to have some kind of warm colour just as a beginning point. So all I do is just dip the rag into the gum terps, not normal brush washing terps, because that stuff remains oily. I'm picking up green from the previous painting, which is probably not a problem. So this pink will kind of shine through if I don't overwork everything. The trick is to not overwork it. Too broad a brush. Not for this little canvas, I think. Start with this one today. Blue. Got no big kitty. The other thing that I learned, one of the other hacks that well, it's probably not a hack, but just something that I learned is in comparison with painting in the studio, this is very different to assess the values or the tones of the paint. It's changes everything up, and because I'm in the sun and I'm looking towards it, I think I'm going to have to move. It really is very hard to see. I tend not to like to use the fan brush to actually make the traditional leaves like some of the older painters used to do. I like to use it to just soften some of my edges, and it creates an interesting texture if you get it right. I was trying the palette knife, but I sort of think that I'm always trying to push myself away from things that I get comfortable with, and I know that the palette knife, I always use that, so I thought, well, why not do this? Break my lines a little bit just by using the brush. So we're going to do the highlights now. We're on the home stretch. Usually I like to just check everything, so I'll walk away. Highlights. So the leaves, I'm probably seeing a little bit cooler than usual. Going to experiment and try and use like a cooler colour but just lighter than what I've got. So the texture that I created just by using the palette knife, this brush and the fan brush has set things up, so if I'm super gentle, I should be able to just lay the paint across the top of the surface of those brush strokes, and that can really be give you some great effect without actually trying to specifically create it. So I'm just touching the surface, I'm not, and you have to be careful because it looks like I'm dabbing, but not dancing, dabbing, but just dabbing at the surface. And I see a lot of people, when they start dabbing, they just do the same brush stroke over and over. They just move their arm a little bit. What I want you to notice is that I change my angle, I twist, I turn. I know that I've got a few different colours on there, and I'm constantly thinking about what the shape would be of these leaves. Most eucalyptus sort of have a bit of an umbrella kind of shape to their branch structure. So I can sort of keep that in mind, but loosen it off because, I mean, you don't see umbrellas when you look at them. Something that I'm always thinking, or often thinking about, is does it need to be lighter, darker, redder, yellow or bluer? Or sometimes I just think to myself, does it need to be warmer or cooler? 99% of the time when you've got a problem working out a colour or working out what's going wrong with a painting, take a look at your colours and ask yourself those questions. Save yourself a lot of grief. Come and say goodbye. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll just pack up and head home. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope there's something to learn. I definitely learn something every time I pick up a brush, and hence the reason why I've called this Brush Miles, because the only way you get talent is through brush mileage. Anyway, on that note, have a great day, and I hope you get out and paint yourselves. Yep, that's my adventure riding for the day. Oh, can't even get out of the backyard. It's hilarious. Righto. The other thing that I've learned is don't forget your hot water bottle, Don't forget to bring your thermos with a nice, pot of hot tea. Don't forget to bring your thermos with a nice serve of hot tea. Anyway, forget about that. Made it onto my website, and I've got a subscription based thing there where you can subscribe $50 a month Australian, 3 years. Well, I go through from basics to more complicated and more. So these are things that I can't teach people in person. It's very difficult for me to cover all of that in a workshop, and everyone just winds up going home with a broken brain. So digesting it over a period of time, seriously. Seriously. Okay, he did scare the crap out of me, but anyway, he did do one better than me and my little thermos of hot water. He brought me a hot chocolate. Isn't he a dear?